Good morning, everybody. This is Diggs. It's another beautiful day out here in the Pacific Northwest, and today we're going to talk about why I'm not quitting War of the Visions. Specifically, we're going to talk about kind of what's going on with my channel, how my channel has shifted over the course of the last month, what's really happened, and why I'm not making a ton of War of the Visions content. There's a lot of people out there that are like fear-mongering that Diggs is never coming back to WoTV. He'll never make WoTV content anymore. And it's a lot more complicated than that. It's a lot more complicated for me, and it's a lot more complicated for Oron J as well, right? A lot of you guys know Oron has gone back to teaching, and both of us, our lives are changing quite dramatically. And I want to talk about that because I think a lot of people don't know what goes on behind the scenes and what is happening. So let's go ahead and dig in. So, a lot of people asking, are you quitting War of the Visions? And candidly, no. I love Final Fantasy, and I've loved Final Fantasy my entire life, and I have no intention of quitting War of the Visions. I'm definitely going to be making a lot less content for War of the Visions, and I haven't figured out how it's going to look yet. I've been releasing news videos, and those haven't been getting a lot of views, and I think it's because of the YouTube algorithm, candidly. Right now, and I'm thinking I may go to like a single podcast style for War of the Visions once a week, where I spend an hour talking about, you know, my current account, or maybe I have a guest with me and we talk about what's going on for the week. I know this is what a lot of DFFOO content creators have done, and they've had relative success for it. So I do think, like, if you're wondering where all the content is right now, I'm trying to figure out how to balance it on my channel, make sure it doesn't mess up with the YouTube algorithm, but make sure it's content people seek out, because it's not going to get recommended to you guys anymore because of how the YouTube algorithm and the channels work. So I'm not quite there yet. I don't know yet. I'm still kind of overwhelmed right now, and maybe I should talk a little bit about that. Covering War of the Visions for the last 2.5 years, I had 12K subscribers. I had almost 6 million views. Was feeling relatively successful. And then over the past, 3 months or so, even longer, over the past 6 months to 12 months, right? We've seen declines in the War of the Visions player base. Our sponsorships became spread out more often. So we would often have like a month between sponsorships. We'd have a month or 2 months between sponsorships, right? And financially, War of the Visions became a little bit difficult for me, and I know for Oron as well. And the channel, and my channel in particular, even though I was covering other games and having no success with them, right? We were trying new things out. I was trying to stream more. I tried Elden Ring. Nothing really worked. And I was really at a point with the channel where, I was taking my anxiety medicine every other day. I was having anxiety attacks because we were living off savings, and honestly, I thought I was going to have to quit being a content creator and go back to work. And for those of you that know my story and know my history, that's very traumatic for me. The experience that I had working, the things that were going on, it was overwhelming, and it makes me want to cry just thinking about it, honestly, because not only did I miss my opportunity to potentially go to veterinary school because of COVID, I was potentially not going to be successful with my channel as well. And, to have, one dream fail because of COVID and another dream fail because you're not good enough, right, is quite impactful on your psyche and your state of mind. And that's kind of where I was at. And I wasn't planning on covering Ni No Kuni. I wasn't planning on being a Ni No Kuni content creator, and just like War of the Visions, it happened by accident. I made a couple Ni No Kuni videos, I streamed, and I saw something was there. I not only enjoyed playing the game, but there was a viewer base that wanted to listen to me, that wanted to watch me. And in the span of a month, I went from 12K subscribers to now I'm over 20K. My entire channel has grown by almost 3/4, which is crazy growth. I mean, we're talking about growth that, you know, I haven't seen in my channel, like 2 years worth of growth, right? I basically saw in the span of a month. A channel where I had a total amount of views of about 7 or 6 million. I now have 7 million. It's the first time I've ever done 1 million views in the span of a month. It's the first time I've had videos reliably hit over 50,000 views on my channel. It's been absolutely overwhelming for me. And it's been one of those things where you watch this happen and you're like, oh my God, this is happening right now. This is an opportunity for me. This is, you know, I need to lean into this as hard as I can. And I understand my War of the Visions viewers are going to be upset, right? I understand that they're not going to understand why I'm doing this. Because candidly, a lot of you guys didn't know the financial hardship I was under. You didn't know the financial hardship Oran was under. You might not know that Oran took a pay cut for me so that I could continue making War of the Visions content. It's absolutely, like, there's so many things going on that you guys do not know that are happening behind the scenes, that it's really difficult for me to paint the picture of exactly the situation I was in, and Oran as well. So for me to suddenly surge in views, to suddenly have a large viewer base that wants to watch me, this was almost like when I first initially took off in War of the Visions. And, you know, candidly, it was something I didn't want to mess up. I didn't want to, with War of the Visions, I feel like I messed up a lot. And that's okay because I learned a lot from my mistakes. But with Ni No Kuni, I wanted to go in and do it the right way. Do it the way that I didn't do with War of the Visions. Make sure that I put out factual information. Make sure that I double checked. Make sure that I didn't mess things up. Make sure that I wasn't quick to jump to conclusions, right? For me, Ni No Kuni was a way, right? For me, it was almost like a do-over. And for the amount of games that I've covered on my channel, you don't get do-overs very often. And I think the only other content creator I've ever seen in the Final Fantasy space that has had an opportunity like this is probably Howells, who made it a little bit big with Genshin Impact, right? He's kind of the only Final Fantasy content creator that's ever gotten larger than Final Fantasy, I would say. Clake is, of course, big, but he never took off on another game. He's tried, right? But he's never been able to get there like he was with Final Fantasy. And for this to happen to me right now is a huge deal to me, not only financially, but also this lets me potentially live my dream, right? War of the Visions was never going to last forever. And I knew that. And I think the biggest fear as content creators that we had was War of the Visions ending. And I don't think War of the Visions is going to end anytime soon. And I do plan on making coverage for War of the Visions until it dies. I do plan to be there in the community. You're probably going to see me not as much in videos anymore, but probably in Discord chat, talking about it, maybe showing up to streams, maybe actually doing streams that are focused on like when JP content and global content comes out. Very similar to how Clake shows up for 6th anniversary events and 5th anniversary events. It's not going to be my primary focus because I am currently taking off in Ni No Kuni right now, and I know, you know, if you're a genuine viewer of mine and you've been supporting me for a long time, you'll be really happy for me and you'll support me in that. But it's one of those things that, you know, War of the Visions is intricately connected to my life. It had such an impact, and it was the first game that really took off for me. And you guys have been with me through everything. And I'm going to be honest, I fucked it up hard in War of the Visions multiple times. And you know, there are people who refuse to watch me because I fucked it up so bad. And that's okay, because that gave an opportunity for Oran J, right? And I think, you know, given Oran J's financial situation and his difficulties as well as mine, me covering Ni No Kuni is going to give Oran J more views. It's going to support him in that way. It's going to give Ready Player Will more views and support Ready Player Will. Let more content creators kind of come in and fill that space. and really kind of help them. Very similar to how, when Howls kind of left the Final Fantasy community, when Clayt kind of transitioned mostly, I would say, you started to see me, you started to see Oron J, right? So it's not entirely a bad thing, and I'm not going to stop covering War of the Visions. Also, I'm planning on probably doing promotional content for War of the Visions. You'll probably still see me with dig.gs/coins and dig.gs/offer. You can still support me that way. But it's not going to be something that I am going to be releasing daily videos on. I'm not quite sure what the content's going to look like. You can leave a comment for me down below. I would love to hear from you guys on what you would like to see, because, it's inevitable that things have to change. Because, Square Enix isn't coming over here with a big ass check and being like, here you go, Diggs. Despite what people believe. Despite people believing that Gumi likes to pay me and Oron hella money. Never happens. But yeah, I think that's pretty much all I wanted to say. I hope you guys understand where I'm coming from. I tried to be really real here and kind of, talk about, this natural progression that content creators tend to go through, right? Where the game is really big and then it slowly dies down, and War of the Visions is basically at a simmer right now, and it's difficult as someone who has formed their business around it to do this forever or just cover War of the Visions forever. Anyway, everybody, thank you so much for watching. I look forward to your comments down below. Please share this. The YouTube algorithm doesn't see me as a War of the Visions content creator anymore, so please share this out in the various Discords, and I'm sure I will see you guys around.